You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Sabres Zone.
Hi folks, welcome to the Sabres Zone. This is a video on this channel that discusses what you had to say. I got a clip we shall look at. And I got a few videos I want to run at you, and then I got to get out of here again. So here is the clip. And shout out goes to Tim Grabowski, and Tim says, "This is a fun season. I wonder how it will end. Fun ride." I don't know if that's a joy kill or if that's really something to be proud of that we're feeling here, Tim. I know how you feel. I don't want this to end. You know, I don't want this season to end. And the thing is, let's face it, guys, we're probably not going to win a Stanley Cup just yet. And how will this season end? That is an amazing question. When I seen that, I said, I've got to make a video on this because this is just the perfect question. I wonder how it will end when it's all said and done. Will we be proud as hell of this team? Or will we be frustrated as hell the way it ended? Both can happen with a young squad, but I trust this bunch, and I trust that they put their best intention out there and they don't want to let each other down, So my guess is, Tim, we're going to go out real proud when it's all said and done. And we're going to feel real excited about next year, I'm, if I was just to take a prediction and we get into the playoffs, I'm going to predict we're going to win 7 playoff games if we get in. If we don't get in, I say we'll miss by about 6 points when it's all said and done. It really depends on if we stay healthy. I mean, we know that it's going to be sad for sure when this season is done, but we're going to look back with good memories, I'm sure of it. Look at last year, guys. This is why I say the Sabres fans are an educated fan base compared to a lot of fans out there. Last year, the fans were mature enough, to disconnect themselves from the fact it's a losing season and we're missing the playoffs no matter what last year. They were able to disconnect it and have fun with it and say, wow, this is a fun team. Not many fan bases can do that, guys, believe it or not. Not many. Go look on the internet, watch how they whine and complain, even if their teams are playoff teams. Not many teams can sit back and say, or fan bases, I should say, sit back and say, I just want to see this year. I just want to see. And I think what they've showed us, Tim, this year is they got heart, they got desire, and they have talent. And I think we're in for a real fun ride, not just this year, many years to come, as long as we keep this core together. And this is why I harp on the money, guys, okay? When I harp on the money on this channel, it's because I don't want to see this team, go and give somebody like Dahlin $12 million a year, and we have to lose Dylan Cousins eventually because of it, This is why the money part's important. Why I'll call out players. We'll talk about certain players in this team that, are doing good. Well, first thing I say is, what are they making? What are they making? Are they making $1 million a year or are they making $5 million? If they're making $5 million a year, they're supposed to be doing good. It's not something I'm not gonna act overly thrilled that, let's say, Olofsson's rolling lately. He's supposed to be rolling, folks. He's making Alex Tuck money. So he's supposed to be rolling, There's other guys out there that are called Tage Thompson making under $1.5 million a year. I know he's coming into 7.1 next year, but he's not making that this year, is he? And look what he's doing. Could if he just rolled over and tanked like we see some players do in the NHL that get big deals? Yes, he could. This team right now, I don't think it's in them. I worry about Dahlin, though, because, folks, the last Dahlin contract, it felt like it was a real headache to get him locked. It did. It took a while. So I just hope it doesn't come down to that this guy wants, 10 million and up, because if he does, we're going to have to make a decision then. We can't be doing that. We just can't be. Like, if anything's going to kill the Avalanche eventually, folks, it's that McKinnon contract. Watch all their big contracts, how it kills them now. But they've got their cup at least, right? They got their cup. That's the trick in this day and age. You've got to win a Stanley Cup before all these big contracts kick in. Or else forget it, it seems, right? I mean, there's too many players that ask for too much money and that get their way. So I want to see that happen when the time is right. I want to see the right contracts laid out to the right players for the right amounts. Like I was happy you guys seen with not Olofsson. Olofsson I thought was an overpayment, but we'll see by the end of the year. The way he's playing as a two-way player right now, I'm very happy with Olofsson right now, and he's earning that money right now, which is okay. Then you got Tuck. Tuck's a deal. I mean, that's a steal of a contract. 4.75 for what he brings is a steal. It is. If you look at, because I'm not thinking of the millions, guys. I'm thinking of the 4.75 versus the 82.5 eventually. That's what I'm thinking. I'm only thinking of numbers, roster, amount you can spend. That's it. And we can't be stupid with our cash. We know this. So if we're going to get all these guys locked in, what are we looking at? That's why what Tim's talking about here, these fun times, I don't want to see them go away. I want to see them get better, develop, and watch these young boys turn into young men eventually and be a powerhouse in the league. But we will not be able to do that, folks, if we can't lock them in. If players start getting greedy. This is why I'm saying the whole Timo Meier thing, forget it. Stay away from it with a 10-foot pole, Adams, please. No thanks. No thanks. You do not bring in an outsider to the inside of this dressing room when that guy has a $10 million qualifying offer due. How does that look to your players and your team and your dressing room who you've united and you've gotten all the cancers out of the dressing room to bring, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with Meier, I'm saying the money part, just the money part, guys. What if we bring this guy in and we do give him a qualifying offer 1 year for $10 million? What does that tell Rasmus Dahlin, guys? That tells him he's making 12. That's what that tells him. So no, we can't go there. No. You want that dressing room, you want it for Dahlin to have a hard time looking at Tage in the eye if he makes like $3 million more than Tage Thompson, You want that. You want it that it's his friend and he doesn't want to feel guilty he's making that much more and he's going to take 9. These are the little things that eventually open cap room for one more star. Because when it's all said and done, we're going to have no cap space, but we don't want to wind up like the Maple Leafs guys and have 4 guys clearing the cap. Half the team, half the money is gone on 4 guys, none of them blue liners. You don't want that. That's the worst thing we can do. Although now, like with Morgan Riley and stuff, yeah, things have changed. But I'm talking back when they did all that money thing. It's hurt the team. They've gotten nowhere in the playoffs because of it. And the truth is, guys, where did that start? Think about it. Where did that start? 2 words, John Tavares. That's where that all started. That's when they took sugar and put it into their engine. That's what they did. That was a perfect rebuild going on in Toronto, and they got greedy. Okay, they got greedy and they went after John Tavares. I don't know why. For $11 million a year. Of course he's going to sign there. He'd be stupid not to. They're going to give him all this money up front and everything. No kidding, he left the Islanders for the money, folks. Not because of the pajamas. It's because of the money. The money. And then what does that tell, though? Okay, what does that tell Matthews? What does that tell Marner? What did that tell Matthews and Marner when Nylander did what he did too? Nylander was the first to take a stand. We don't want that happening here. Okay? We don't. It's the worst thing that can happen to us, folks. And what Tim's talking about, these fun times that we're having now, I want to have them for like good 6, 7, 8 years. I want to have a lot of fun. We're long overdue for a good era in Buffalo Sabres history. It's right in front of our eyes. It's right there for the taking, guys. Right there. unless we screw up the cash, and we screw it up by bringing some outsider in, okay, that's going to make $10 million bucks, that hasn't donned the Sabres jersey once in his entire career. That would be the stupidest thing we can do. The dumbest thing, in my opinion. It'd be the dumbest thing we can do, because what message does it send to the kids? All of a sudden, family, team unity, friendship becomes greed. That can set in real quick in a franchise. No thanks. So we got to be careful with that. Tim, I think you might agree with that. We got to be very careful the way we spend our money, not just how much we spend, the way we spend it. We got to send signals to every player that you're in on this. You're in on this. You're part of this. You're taking $1 million less, buddy. I took $1 million less. You're taking $1 million less. Like, that has to spread throughout the dressing room. And that's where a team gels. Ask the Bruins. Ask the Bruins if that system works, if they'll take less to stay in their home city, on that team, on that winning franchise. Of course they will. Once the Sabres are winning, it's not a reason for us to get blackmailed into having to pay all these guys a premium that they really haven't earned in the playoffs yet. No. If we won a Stanley Cup, I can understand. I can understand then some overpayments, because it's kind of a thank you contract, right? I mean, as soon as Chicago gave Taves and Kane those ridiculous contracts, I knew they were done. I knew it. I used to troll all the Chicago boards guys and say it to them. You guys are done. You put $21 million bucks a cap into 2 guys. Yeah, but they've earned it. I said, they've earned it, but what about your team? What's going to happen to your team? Like, who cares if they've earned it? You know? And they didn't earn that kind of money. Go look at their career numbers. They didn't earn that kind of money. The whole team maybe earned a bonus because they won Stanley Cups together, not just 2 guys that did it. So that's where I stand with that. I think fun times are coming, Tim, but we got to be careful with the money to preserve those fun times, or we're going to be... I think we're going to be so hurt if we start to lose some of these pieces eventually because of money and we don't have it. And the last thing I want to see is everybody criticizing Adams because of the cap. That hasn't happened. It hasn't even come close to happening. Let's hope it stays there, guys. Let's be the most cap-smart team in the NHL and then win the Stanley Cup. Then we'll worry about the cap after that. Okay? See you later, guys.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to ensure Dimension access.